Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Bombastic podcast. I'm your host, Imani Wilson. Feel free to take this time to like this particular podcast episode, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, what's another one? Spotify, YouTube, all the places that you check out your podcast or particularly watch this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But anyway, now that we got that business out of the way, again, I'm your host, Imani Wilson, and welcome. This is a deviation, if you will, from the typical format, just because I don't do Monday videos. I don't. Typically Monday, you could catch me cold, chilling somewhere, reflecting under a tree, somewhere, on a random trip, probably in and out of town, because I move around. Let me stop playing. But more than anything, though, thank you for tuning into the show consistently. I appreciate that, folks. And for the folks who have absolutely supported, giving me the feedback, thank you so much. And for new audience members to the podcast and the vlog, is it a vlog? Nah, it's not a vlog. It's a series. I'm not like, hey, I just went ahead and got a snow cone today, even though it's 30 degrees. No, it's none of that shit. But welcome. Either way, welcome. So why this episode is so very special? This is the Oscars recap. I had to go ahead and, play up some more excitement. But no, literally, it was a very exciting night last night. The Oscars, the 2019 Oscars, were in full effect last night. And there were so many things going on that I got to recap. Because there was so much to have to go over about the Oscars. First of all, as a guy who's into film, and I had to clear this up with a bunch of folks. Folks were like, you watch the Oscars? I'm like, dude, I have to see what the industry trends are. I have to pay attention, because if that's something I'm aspiring to, you got to study it. You got to study the films and who wrote it, how it was shot, how it was edited, the cast, what studio backed it. You got to get all of those things down. If you're trying to get into that game, yes, you got to study the game. You have to absolutely become one with that. So absolutely, I follow the Oscars. And call me biased, just call it for what it is. If a person of color happens to be winning that year, whether they're black, brown, African, in between, Latino, Asian, whatever the capacity, I'm rooting for them, always. Because beyond that, Hollywood itself was a very much white-centric and, for the most part, still owned industry. But the fact that diversity over the years, and ran by men for the most part. So now that, over the years, diversity is starting to be more and more celebrated on the big screen, both, in front and behind the camera, it's just a beautiful time. I feel like the only thing it's doing is continuing to tell more stories in the medium of art. So, getting into the funky shit. Let's talk about ads first, okay? Because there was two ads that really jumped out to me. Serena's Nike ad, I thought was dope. I mean, it was pretty much the whole, like I was just mentioning about, women and women of color. The female empowerment of saying, if they say you can't, then show them how much you really, really can. I'm just calling it for what it is. Serena, the greatest female athlete of all time? I could argue, yeah. So people are like, oh, that's bullshit. What about Billie King? I mean, here's my thing. Take Billie Jean King against her competition, against what Serena has had to go on up against. And you're talking about a 20-time Grand Slam fucking winner. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it for what it is, all right? Serena is the greatest female athlete of all time. So to see her Nike ad, and she was at the Oscars as well, and presented, I was just like, wow, dude. Like literally, she's a modern day, GOAT. For real. She really is. Then there was another ad. It was the Cadillac ad. They had this a Cadillac truck ad that they had, and they kept playing this track from Gambino. Me and Your Mama. I just kept hearing it's like, I love when we are smoking la 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 la. I was like, wait a minute, wait the fuck. I had to look around is somebody playing some shit? And then you damn, 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 damn. I don't know if YouTube's gonna take this shit down because I'm killing the song right now without even having a fucking instrument near me. But I was like, look at fucking Cadillac using Gambino in an ad. I'm like, yo, wow. So I'm sorry, like those two ads, those were huge because they had several Cadillac ads that were playing Gambino's song up there. So I thought that was lit, dude. I'm sorry. I had to cover those things. Speaking of covering things, so fashion and gossipy shit. So this right here is the part that's gonna be like the most fun because I think it's gonna be. Hold on a second. I'm trying to check to see if I've got. Okay. Yeah, because I'm just like I hear things going on. It's fucking weird. Anyway, so you guys speak about fashion and shit. So this one's I'm gonna try to make this not so long-winded. Let me pull this fucker closer to me. So I'm gonna try to make this not so long-winded because it's very important to have to get this out because I saw a lot of things floating on about this particular subject matter, and this is gonna be my hot take. So brace yourself. Red carpet host Billy Porter showed up in a tux dress, and you could see the two corners of the internet explode. You saw the one corner and it was like, oh my God, yes, that shit is so killer, da, da. Then you had this is the continuing emasculation and feminization of the black man. Let me just tell you my take on it. So get yourself ready as we now cross the 7-minute mark of this podcast. It was cool. And you don't know why it was cool? Because that's something he wanted to do. It was different. I don't think I've ever seen someone come through in a tux dress and of all like devices, it be a man, and it happened to be a man of color doing it, black man doing it. So I guess when you get into this whole conspiracy about, oh, this right here is the feminization of the black man as always being purported and touted in popular media, it's the gay agenda. About look, dude, understand something, okay? Maybe this is what makes me a contemporary but yet still modern man of the times. I guess my biggest thing is if that's what somebody wants to do, let them live. What does that have any impact upon the next person? Listen, with him rocking that, does that mean that now you're going to see me in platform heels and some shit? Dude, if that was my prerogative, that would just be my fucking prerogative. So his prerogative was to pull up, knowing that he was going to host a red carpet, and doing it in a fucking tuxedo dress. Fucking rocking, like, cross-dressers and all this other shit, it's not anything new. It's not a man in drag. A man in drag is not new in 2019. And is that even drag? He just wore a tux dress. Let him rock it. The fuck? I don't understand why it has to be an agenda. The problem with the fucking Oscars is that everything gets so loaded about agendas. And I get it. But see, what fucking people that aren't smart, because there are people that aren't smart. I know, you could. The whole thing is, the Oscars have always been politicized. You can go as far back as like Elvis, John Wayne, other motherfuckers from like old school throwback Hollywood. They've always politicized this event. Why? Because it's about the public, it's about an art form, it's about media, and there's money in it. Of course, politics is gonna ooze in between the cracks. Are you fucking joking? That's why I hate when people are like, oh, this is just pandering and it's just posturing and it's politicized. Dude, that's always been the name of the game, baby. That's the name of the game. Are you joking? So my point with dude is, look, you want to wear a tux dress, bro? Rock it. And he rocked the shit out of it. Cool, point, end, case, end point, end story. I had a whole conversation with a cousin of mine. I was just like, yo, I'm dying to know what your take is going to be. And I'm dying. This is my hot take. Whatever, dude. Rock it. Rock it. Kill it. If that's what you're going to do, do it. Fuck. This isn't any implication upon me as a man. I think it's the crazy thing is when people take it as personal implications on themselves and their own masculinity. Bro, I'm good. I'm good. If it affects you, then you got some shit you got to work out. But dude, I'm good. I'm good. So yes, shout out to fucking Billy Porter for rocking that shit because he rocked it. J-Lo also pulled up rocking her own fit. Now, we're talking about the same J-Lo who came from, from the Grammys where she was trying to croon some Motown. She, this time, came through as another throwback. Her outfit made her look like the flyest Boricua disco ball ever seen, in modern times. It was a little different. It's a little different. And then shout out to Alex Rodriguez, who I swear A-Rod is just like now like the token accessory. Like wherever J-Lo goes, like A-Rod's that dude holding the bag. It's fucking hilarious. It really is. Gaga had a fucking huge night, which, again, leading up to it, she had a huge night. Like I said, the necklace was popping, hair, everything, makeup looked fantastic. I will say though, this is leading into it. Pretty sure she's fucking Bradley Cooper. They fucking. As, shout out to one of my favorite groups on Facebook, Podcast Fandom Crew. As we were all jokingly going through it, doing the whole like live in the comments about the Oscars. Like everyone kept looking at the chemistry and was like, nah, I'm pretty sure they fucking, and if not, then they at least have, or they are or they were. But they fucking. Plus, also, shout out to both of them because they both happened to have really bad spray tans that night. She was orange as fuck, like the most orange I've ever seen Gaga, because typically she's like a ghoulish white, which is why the tan was dumb obvious and it was artificial as shit. And then even with Bradley Cooper, I'm like, dude, like, you look weird. I'm like, y'all look like y'all both tanned at the same place. Huh. Not weird at all. But speaking of weird, in its own sense, in all respect, is all in due favor. Mashallah Ali, also had a huge night, and that's coming up as well. He rocked it, nice plain tux. His missus had this like Afro-futuristic vibe going. The fucking hat, dude. The hat was killing me like when Pharrell was rocking that like Canadian Mountie like that's that Arby's like hat. That fucking killed me. And I'm a super duper hardcore Pharrell, NERD, Neptune, Star Trek fan. But that fucking hat and Marshall Ali pulling up in the red carpet, literally through the whole ceremony with that fucking hat. It's a fez. From when I saw a couple people calling it a beanie, I'm like, bro, that's not a beanie. Beanie would sit a little bit on your like literally sit on your scalp. Scully would kind of be the same way probably, but just have more room depending on the size of the Scully. That was a fucking like fez. He had like the Prince Akeem like hat, in which they said was like, oh, it's a nod to his religion. I'm like, it's just a fez. I mean, if it was a nod to his religion, his beliefs, granted, it's beautiful. I just feel bad for the motherfucker that was behind him because I know I would have been like, yo, like, what's up? like, what's up? Like, you over there. Do this for me sometimes, yo. Can't see over there. You a wild one, yo. I would have had to. It just would have been one of those things. I mean, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I wouldn't have done that. Cause I'd been like, the fuck you think he talking to? So, but nah. I say, yeah, don't get it fucked up. My man's from the Bay Area. But everybody also happened to be wearing like all these fucking like tacky pink dresses and shit. Some chick looked like a fucking like a strawberry wrapper from like a fucking cupcake. I forget the fucking name. It didn't even matter. But what did matter was two fucking people that were donning the shit out of pink, okay? The boy Jason Momoa came in off a velvet, like champagne, like pale pink tux. And I'm like, yo, only fucking Jason Momoa could pull some shit like that off. He still had the whole gypsy vibe going. Fucking Lisa Bonet was there also with the same gypsy vibe going. I swear they both look like they smell like seaweed and like patchouli, but then yet they're like both like they're like striking to the eye. So it's like motherfucker. So only he could have pulled that shit off. And then of course we gonna talk about pulling off pink. Bow the fuck down. Put your heads down, you fucking knaves. You're not worthy when Angela Bassett comes in crushing it. I'm talking spanking motherfuckers on the red carpet with that pink dress. And is she not like 60 and just fine as a glass of wine? And oh yeah, she is absolutely dragging a wagon. I'm sorry, some of them angles when you see her do that turn, I'm like, oh my god, anime with the K. I'm sorry. Listen, all respect to her, alright? I'm just fucking saying, I gotta give homage where homage is due for the queen. She's out there fucking killing it. Fucking killing it. So, only motherfuckers who really were able to pull off pink yesterday were Jason Momoa in his own weird way, and Angela Bassett just crushing the game. You know, she got the fucking hair did, looking fine as always, the dress was fly, body just pow, pow, wow and shit. So I'm like, please, she definitely had shit going. But let's get to the whole point of this, which is why I said this is probably going to be a really short episode. But then again, I think this is where shit's going to get real. The real meat and potatoes are right here and shit. You got the little side of the vegetables, so now here comes the real chunk of it. The awards. Because why the fuck else would you really want to watch this shit? Just so you can see cool, people you know of and heard of and seen before, just all chill and look nice. They always chill and look nice. Except for when they don't. Because they're regular ass fucking people. For all the let's just get into this shit, because I'm the kind of person where I like to stay pretty even keeled. I'd say I'm overall optimistic, but I'm also a realist. So realistically speaking, I just checked the list and I just saw what the first talking point of the awards were. I'm gonna get it the fuck out the way now, okay? The motherfucking Green Book won Best Picture of the Year. Now, didn't see the movie, okay? Lady saw the movie, liked it. I was like, hey, cool, good on you. Wasn't a movie I really wanted to see. The problem I have is that it won Best Picture with all of the bullshit surrounding the movie. So the fucking director, I think it was that Peter Farrelly. Peter Farrelly had, not even accusations, but claims that he owned and apologized to. We pretty much had his own hashtag #MeToo movement. We saw that flashing his dick and pushing himself up on chicks. That's not a good look. Then your co-producer or producer on the film, has had a long notoriety of like posting anti-Islamic shit stemming as far back as 9/11. And granted, I know people are like, oh, it's fucked up people being persecuted by all these old tweets. But my thing is that if you were taking those tweets and forwarding them over to like Trump and trying to connect these like dots still to this day, then it's kind of like, all right, you have a bit of an agenda. And then on top of it, I'm sorry, you also happen to have been working with Marshall Ali, who's very much clearly an open Muslim. And he's like, oh, working with him, and it's a movie about togetherness and kindness and this, and this. Bullshit. Even the family, because it was based on a true story, even the family of the driver of the black character, even the family said, yeah, you guys are kind of playing up his friendship. They weren't like, it wasn't Lethal Weapon with a fucking traveling doctor and pianist. It really wasn't. It was just like, hey, we're going through some shit here. I'm with you for the ride, and I'm learning a bit about you and your world, and we're kind of, sharing in this moment. But it wasn't this fucking buddy feel good fucking movie like they were trying to paint it out to be. But then let's not drop the biggest fucking hammer of them all. And I feel bad because the homie Vigo, he ain't the homie no more. Fuck him. He actually went during the press tour and had an open moment on the press tour where he dropped the M-bomb to try to go ahead and make a comparison about, the language and dialect used then comparatively to now. I'm like, bro, listen, I get it for you trying to give us some historical context. That, you shouldn't be afraid to say, to absolutely say the word. It is a word, but the thing is you have to understand that in the context in which you're using it, you don't have to, like, the thing is you just want to pick and choose the appropriate times. It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I get it. Listen, it's not a taboo. It's just the word nigger. That's it. Like, I get it. Like, no, dude, you have to understand. There's a context in which there's a not even just a context. There's a don't be tone deaf. You want to have tact when using things, especially if it's touching upon sensitive areas such as race relations, religion, politics, all those other different things. You want to use a certain tact. And it's not like Vigo's new to the game where this is just some shit. This was just like one of those things where I guess he just felt like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and use it in such a banal way that it's like, oh, well, whatever, fuck it. Yeah, blah, blah, so this is how it was. People were just like, okay, I mean, we obviously know that, but thanks for, like, really hammering the point when you really fucking didn't. So, either way, for all of that bullshit, the movie still won fucking Best Picture of the Year. Which, I mean, 2018 was a weird year for movies anyway. It just was. Like, it's like there were a few movies here and there, but I'm like, the biggest movies that people were hyped about were Marvel films. And this year, I don't even think people are that hyped about Marvel films. I'm like, granted, Infinity War Part 2, great, we get the ending, but we already, like, it's kind of already out there that we know how it's gonna go. Infinity War Part 1, we didn't really have an idea how deep it was gonna get. So, for fucking for the Green Book to have gotten Best Picture was a little iffy. Spike Lee was mad as fuck, but again, we're gonna cover all those other bases coming up now. A Star is Born. Got the Lady Gaga got the Academy Award, which I'm not gonna bullshit you. I would not be surprised if Gaga isn't like the next EGOT, which is someone who gets an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Because at this point, I'm like, I know she got Grammys, and now she's got an Oscar. So now she just needs a Tony, which you get on Broadway, and then an Emmy, which you get on TV. So yeah, that's a little fun fact for you. A couple of EGOTs you got out there, Whoopi Goldberg, and a couple of others. Out there, but it's a high prestige and honor. Don't be surprised if the boy Gambino isn't up next. Trust me. But yeah, that was huge for again, A Star Is Born, and she just made mention like only Bradley Cooper could have been. I'm talking, she was up there like, I'm like, come on, dude, we know you're talented. Come on with the shit. We like everybody knew you were gonna get an original fucking song. Like, come the fuck on. Like, please, as many times as people kept fucking mentioning Shallow and all that shit in A Star Is Born, I was like, dude, this shit's gonna win at least 2 fucking Academy Awards, at the very least, and Gaga's gonna get an Academy Award for a fucking song. Everybody knew that. I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew it, but it's just the fact that in the moment, you're probably just like hit with it. It really like hammers the shit home, so I don't know. I mean, it was good on her. Like I said, she's fucking talented as fuck, dude. Like, I'm not knocking that shit at all. You talk about modern. If you had to say a modern artist who are like truly talented, you got to throw her in that group. You got to throw maybe like an Alicia Keys in that group. I'd say you have to throw like an Anderson .Paak in that group. I'm talking people who you can tell they're performers. They've got voices on them. They're musicians as well. Like true, like craftsmen of their actual craft. There you go. So. And A Star Is Born got original song of Lady Gaga. So, since everybody's happy that she won, fuck it. We all knew that was going to happen, a landslide. Fucking Bohemian Rhapsody got the most motherfucking wins. And then also, let me go ahead and preface this shit now. I'm saying, now that I got all that shit out the way, because now we're entering the other subcategory at this point. I wish I had a fucking broom on me right now. People of color and women clean the fuck up during this fucking Oscars. And that shit probably pissed some people off, because they're like, oh, well, you're just placating. Or you're just pandering. Like I said before in the earlier part, this shit's always been about politics. But I'm just calling it for what the fuck it was. We in there, goddammit. I don't give a fuck. We in there. Ladies, we in there. People of color, like I said, black, brown, Asian, Hispanic, all folks across that color spectrum, we in there. We motherfucking in there. So, hey, Bohemian Rhapsody opens up. And I'm a huge Queen fan. As far as old school, like, rock bands are concerned, Queen would have to be number 1 on my list because there's just too many fucking songs I love from fucking Queen. I swear their songs are like a fucking, they're like soundtracks. Like they're like soundtracks to your like life in a weird sense. It's true. Like if you heard this shit in an arena, you would be bugging the fuck out. Like I couldn't hear Having a Good Time or like half of the shit. And Queen was there. The remaining surviving members were there. They performed. Adam Lambert performed with them. I mean, everybody liked it. I thought it sounded like some shit you hear off like a cruise ship, but that's not the knock, the original bandmates. I just thought Adam Lambert's, take on certain songs was just very American Idolish, but Either way, Bohemian Rhapsody fucking cleaned up. It got best sound mixing, best sound editing, best film editing, and then, why I say you gotta hold down for the culture, Rami Malek gets fucking best actor. Now someone's saying, well, why you hold that down for the culture? Isn't he, oh, that's right, North African. He's Egyptian. Now I need people to cut the bullshit because it's still Black History Month, so let me break some homage to you. What continent is Egypt located in? That would be Africa, the northern region of Africa. Now, I know you may think to yourself, oh, well, not every black person hails from Egypt. I know that. We fucking know that shit. But the thing is that you want to talk about it being Black History Month? It was made. He's the first fucking male Egyptian fucking actor to win the Best Actor award. So I'm sorry. Egypt, Africa, Black History Month, bitch. We motherfucking in there. And I've never seen Mr. Robot. I mean, no offense, it's a USA show, so I rarely have ever watched the USA Network. But I hear good shit. But I feel happy for him. Fuck, because like I said, it's a huge movie. I meant to see Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen it, so I'm waiting for it to get on Netflix, and then I'll later be like, yo, now I see why he won this shit. But Freddie Mercury's fucking story, it's marred. It's some controversy. They're like, oh, well, it didn't really pay the tribute that it did. Again, I'll have to see it for myself to judge it. Like I said, but just shout out to him. That's a fucking huge fucking accomplishment. Huge accomplishment. So yes, we motherfucking in there. Chalk that one on the board again for Black History Month. We motherfucking in there. And as we continue to be in there, then you guys speak about Black Klansman. Got Best Adapted Screenplay. Fucking Spike Lee got his first fucking Academy Award. Now let me tell you why this shit was especially pimp. Because I gotta show the fucking I gotta show the actual graphic to this when I pull it up, because it was fucking amazing from what I saw. So on Twitter, somebody posted up on there, Kyle Buchanan, he's verified on Twitter. He said, everyone is texting me asking what Spike Lee said that was bleeped. Because when he went on stage, it was just like you heard clapping and the whole fucking theater were on their fucking feet. Just standing ovation for Spike, because he never got a fucking Academy Award, and he should have got it for fucking Do the Right Thing. I mean, so many fucking movies. Mo Better Blues, Do the Right Fucking Thing. I'm talking the man's had a catalog for some time, and he's just never gotten an award. Now, granted, Spike can be a little heavy-handed with his point and agendas, but still, fuck it, you still can't take away from from what he's provided to cinema. You just can't. So, what this guy said was, everyone's texting me asking what Spike Lee said that was bleep. He began his speech by saying, do not turn that motherfucking clock on. So, my man had the most New York, the most Brooklyn response ever, and was like, do not turn that motherfucking clock on. Because when you go up there, there's a clock, and they sort of let you know, like, all right, you're going to have this much time to talk. He's like, no, motherfuckers, you're going to let me have this. Because it's been fucking a whole almost lifetime. And this is going to happen. Fuck the little honorary shit you gave me a couple years ago. This one I actually now earn. You're going to let me have this. So he was up there breaking the signs down. You could tell like his raw emotions, because he was like trying to speak about his ancestors and how his ancestors came back from this particular time, and that this year compared to when slavery happened was 400 years apart from one another, and that again his ancestors started off as this and this, and then they came from this particular part, migrated here, and then they worked and did this. So he had a moment. Okay? He had a fucking moment. But again, rightfully deserved. You talking about fucking Spike Lee. It's like, come the fuck on. So I'm happy as fuck for Spike. And like I said, he did it in his typical Spike fashion. Fucking Samuel was up there, fucking announced it for him. Like, it's a crazy picture of those two, like, hugging and shit. I love the fact that Samuel just went up there and was just like, yo, he's like, I also got to make a mention. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, your New York Knicks won tonight. I'm telling you, the whole time watching the Oscars, you would have thought I was watching, like, a sport event. Because I'm just down there like, yes! Like, as soon as he mentioned that the Knicks won, I was like, let's fucking go! Let's go! First home win since like December of last year. Even though the Knicks are supposed to be losing on purpose. But that's for another podcast, which I'll be covering sports and shit soon. But I was like, yeah, I was happy for fucking Spike, man. It was beautiful that he got Best Adapted Screenplay. So I was happy as fuck for him. Because then, later in the night when it came to Best Picture, and Green Book was announced, because they had Green Book, I think Vice, Black Panther, Green Book, Vice, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Black Klansman, I think were the ones, and then like Roma, I think. So, he was hoping maybe he would have got it for Black Klansman, probably also quietly maybe rooting for Bohemian Rhapsody as a third, and then probably second Black Panther. But when it was Green Book, knowing all the bullshit surrounding those assholes, it was like, talk about a way of derailing a night of fucking history and shit going on. But again, I don't want to go ahead and keep tying it to negative shit, because there's still more hotness we got to drop. So shout out to Spike motherfucking Lee, Spitz Lee, holding it down, doing the damn thing. Black history, people. Then, more history. Black Panther gets 3 motherfucking Academy Awards. First Marvel film to get Academy Awards. First Marvel film. Black Panther gets Best Production Design, which the production also went up there. Miss Beachler, she came up there and was just like dropping the whole science. I'm talking, these people were ecstatic. Best costume design, which I was like, listen, okay, like I get it. Most of the costumes they were showing for like those like old English period pieces. Listen, I feel like you can just go somewhere and it got that shit hanging up somewhere. Black Panther, that shit ain't hanging up nowhere. That Afro futuristic like design, no. Those sets, no. You could tell the craftsmanship and detail put into those fucking sets. Those shits were so culturally accurate and so finely detailed. It was just incredible. So there's no way you weren't going to get that. And then original score, and the guy who gets original score was a former USC roommate of the director Ryan Coogler. He's like, dude, I could never imagine that 12 years ago when we were first putting down your original score for your film that we would be celebrating a momentous occasion like this. Shout out to the boy, man. Like, shout out. Motherfucking history rolling. Now, granted, the composer wasn't black, but still, you're talking about on one of the blackest films, one of the most important films in terms of a black superhero being the main lead, and he's an African prince of a fictionalized African nation and shit. I mean, come on, it was huge, huge. So, I'm just saying, we rolling. Black History Month is rolling again. Chalk those fucking other 3 on the board and shit. Oh, there's other 4 on the board. I'm losing count at this point. Then again, Mahershala Ali got for Green Book actor in a supporting role. He's got 2. He's the only black male actor that had 2 Academy Awards. Denzel got 1. Mahershala Ali got 2. You talking about having a fraction of the career as well. Moonlight and this shit back-to-back years? Oh, motherfuckers flexing. Damn. So shout out to the boy Mahershala Ali. Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. She got actress in a supporting role. You talking about somebody that's been in like acting since been acting. I remember her off of Friday. That was Craig's sister from Friday. Okay, and I heard there's a voice of motherfucking Huey and Riley from the Boondocks, and now she gets an Academy Award for If Beale Street Could Talk, which was listen, that's why I said you talking about Black History Month in full fucking effect here. Like, sincerely. So happy for Regina King. So glad she was able to get an accomplishment. And like I said, she's had such a lengthy fucking career. So to finally see her get one of the highest achievements possible in acting, well, the highest achievement in acting, it's beautiful. Well, I mean, someone say Best Actress, but still, you got an Academy Award. Come on, an Academy Award. So many people don't have that, man. So it's fucking beautiful. Oh, let's go ahead and do some more. Put this shit on the board as well. Marvel like, nah, fuck it. We gonna need more black motherfuckers in these shits. You wanna know why? Because Into the Spider-Verse gets Best Animated Picture over Fuck It Ralph and all those other films that have probably come out. Motherfucking Into the Spider-Verse. Stories around Miles Morales. Now, people will say, like, look, I mean, it was overall good story. They don't just want to make it about Miles. Cool. But it was Miles' story. It was centered around this kid that you were like you could see what he was going through. You could see what he was pulling for. Like, you really, truly rooted for him. Like, I love the fucking picture. Like, I even got emotional. I was like, fuck, man. Like, damn it. If I have a kid, like, he's going to be able to look at this story and be like, I want to be Spider-Man too. And I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. I mean, even if you want to be Peter Parker Spider-Man, still do it. But either way, that shit was just, it was dope. And I loved the movie. It was dope. Like I said, so you gotta chalk that shit again on the board for Black History Month, baby. You just got to. You got to. Like I said, we needed this shit. All right? We absolutely needed to finally get our due for what we provide in the medium of entertainment. And I'm not saying that it has to be that way all the time. You always have to pander. You always have to change characters, colors, and races. I'm not saying you have to do that shit. But I'm saying that every now and then there just comes a time where you finally give credit where credit is due. I'm glad to see that a bunch of women from many diverse backgrounds were getting it for things like editing and things like documentaries and things like that because, again, it's due. My thing is storytelling shouldn't just be in the hands of like a few people to tell a story like that because you're coming from a limited perspective. That's the whole case in point, man. So, shit. And we rounded out. This one's for La Raza. La Raza. Alright? You feel me? So, Netflix's Roma, fucking directed, and I made sure to look this up, by Alfonso Cuarón. Okay? Cuarón. By Alfonso Cuarón. You're talking about someone who already has had Academy Awards upon Academy Awards. You want to talk about prolific fucking directors? Look up Alfonso Cuarón. Look up his fucking cinematography list. You're talking about a dude that's probably just got Academy Awards like I have shit up here. He's just like, oh, yeah, just put that one up there, you know. And I'm going to go write, direct, do the cinematography and edit on my next, like, piece. So Roma was a foreign film produced by Netflix. I think it was centered around a Mexican migrant who, if I'm not mistaken, was like, she was like some sort of worker, and just showing like some like working woman, just showing the different like just elements of her overall life and just life in that particular part of Mexico. So it was literally like a love letter to Mexico, if you will. And he even said it himself. He's like, I wanted to put forward, you know, a character that would always just be in the background, but put her instead in the forefront. And that was beautiful, dude. Cause again, it's about telling different stories. It's not about the same old shit like, well, you know, Jessica falls in love with a guy, but is trying to understand if maybe he's that guy or maybe he's just another. No, we don't need that constant retread of those fucked up, stupid, bland fucking rom-coms. Tell different stories, motherfucking Alfonso Cuarón did that so much that he got, for Netflix's Roma, Best Director, Cinematography, and Foreign Language Film. So Netflix is like, yeah, we're going to take those among the other little things that we produce on these documentaries, and yeah, we're going to push those Academy Awards that way. Because, I don't know if you knew, but Netflix is the largest fucking studio. The largest studio right now. Yeah, bigger than Disney. Yeah. So, like I'm saying now in closing about the Oscars, the Academy Awards 2019, we needed that shit, man. Fucking Black History Month was rough, okay? The last weekend for Black History Month, we were able to prevail. Granted, Green Book happened. Fuck it. Mahershala Ali still got an award. I mean, there's so many things you could take away from it. But we needed this shit. We needed it because for all the other shit going on with the fucking this guy, Jesse, that guy, we ended it on a high note. Fuck it. I'm with it. I'm absolutely with it. So we were able to, we cleaned up. Like I said, people of color, women own this motherfucking Oscars, okay? So that's it. I feel like with that now gives us at least an even playing field. I know motherfuckers are like, wait, what the fuck are you saying? Like, wait, like what? So we're not supposed to win anymore? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it was just nice to see the Academy give so many nods to diversity. It was just dope. Now, I feel like the playing field is a little more open. All right, hopefully films will step it the fuck up. Like I said, someone who's absolutely getting into that arena, you know, all this does is now, like, it's inspiring to watch shit like that. It really is. It's inspiring to know, like, hey, I don't have to come from, you know, the USC program. I have to come from a family that has this particular background. I don't have to look a certain way. I have a certain origin to be able to have a voice in this industry that otherwise has had a lot of gatekeepers in it. So that's why I said it was fucking great. Because, again, we needed a reprieve from the Jussie and the R. Kelly bullshit. So for the last weekend and for the last particular posting, which I think this will probably be, these two podcasts, because you're getting 2 podcasts a week now for me. That's exactly how we rolling now. So for this to be one of the last 2 podcasts for Black History Month 2019, I thought this shit was dope. Shout out to them fucking Oscars, so black, POC / so ladies, history, her story, all things in between. I thought it was fucking lit. Oscars lit! So, that being said, I'm your host, Imani Wilson. This has been another Bombastic podcast. Please feel free to comment on your feedback about the Oscars, whether or not you follow, whether or not you saw people, saw their outfits, whether or not you really think Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper ain't fucking, whether you're like, yo, I didn't realize you were so hyped up with the Oscars. I'm always lit. I almost lost my voice last night. I just kept screaming, we in there! So, leave a comment, let me know your, thoughts, feedback. Like I said, this is a great time to be able to like this podcast. Like I said, leave comments, rate it on whatever platforms in which you listen to podcasts, and subscribe on those same platforms that you listen to podcasts, and subscribe to this channel. Once again, I'm your host, Imani Wilson, and this has been another episode, and we out. Peace.